Hi guys, this is Vineet, and in this video we will discuss about transaction log backups, how to take them inside SQL Server. So before we proceed ahead, I would request you guys to go ahead and click on the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel and hit on the bell icon to get all notifications regarding my future videos. Now let's come back to the topic, which is transaction log backup, and let's quickly switch over to notes. So there are some points to be considered. So if our database is using a full or but log recovery model, we must always back up the transaction log from filling. So as soon as we issue queries, including the inserts into the tables, that causes a transaction to be logged inside the transaction log file. So eventually these transaction log files get filled up. So whenever we take a backup, that truncates the transaction log and save that transaction in a backup file if we take a transaction log backup. So that is what it is mentioning here. So taking a transaction log backup truncates the log and supports restoring the database to a specific point in time. Now let me take you through a demo on transaction log backup. So first of all, we were talking about the recovery model. So here we will take Northwind as a sample database. So if I look at the properties of Northwind database and I go to the options section, I see the recovery model is set to full. So either it should be set to full or burst logged in if we want to take any transaction log backups. So let's see, let me take you through a demo. So first thing is to ensure that our recovery model should be set to full or bulk load that we have just shown you. Now we want to take a backup of Northwind database, the transaction log backup. So let's hit on the backup button. So I see a file is already listed there with the name of northwind.diff, northwind_diff.back. Let's see the content of this file. So this file contains a full backup, a differential backup, and 3 transaction log backups. So what we will do, we would like to take a new file instead of writing to an existing file. So I'm adding a new, first of all, I'm removing this. I want to take these backups inside a new file. So I need to specify the name of the file. So let's take this as Northwind. I'm mentioning the file name as practice, as these are practice backups. So towards the end of the file, put the back extension and hit OK. So file will come over here. So right now this is a blank file and there is nothing inside it. If we look at consent, if we take a look at contents, it gives us an error message because this file is not created yet even. So once we will take backup on this file, it will show you some contents. Right now the content box is empty because nothing is inside it. So let's first try to take a transaction log backup directly without taking a full backup. Let's see if it allows you. So ideally, okay, it has taken the backup of the Northwind database. So let's go to the backup section. So what we have just taken is a transaction log backup. If we look at the contents of this file now, it contains a transaction log backup. So this is as simple. You need to select the backup type, which should be transaction log, and just take a backup of this by selecting OK, and you need to specify the name of the file. Let's discuss some of the other options which you can consider during the backup process. So first is the database. Right now Northwind is selected. You may select any of the databases for which you want to take transaction log backup. So if you want to take just the copy only backup, just create a copy backup, and this copy is independent of the sequence of conventional SQL Server backups. All right, so please remember this in time. So this in mind that if you take a copy backup, this is individual of the backups we are taking inside this file. All right, and let's go ahead. Next thing is the backup set. So if we take a look at here, the name of the backup set is Northwind Full Database Backup. This is the name of the backup set, and it is purely optional, whatever you want to give. Sometimes this name is blank as well. So here, where do you specify the backup set name? So it comes under the backup options. Here you specify the backup set name. So that's for your internal auditing purpose, whatever database backup set you want to name it as, and you can provide description of that as well. And right next to it, there are options for expiry, which can be set from 0 to 99,999 days, with 0 being that backups will never expire. And you can specify your on criteria where you can specify that a backup set will expire on certain date. So if a backup set gets expired, so this is talking about backup set. So if a backup set expire, all the backups under that backup sets will expire. So you can specify on a specific date when you want your backup set to get expired. So file does get deleted once the backup is expires. Next, it's talking about some compression items. So if you want to compress the backup, you can select the compress backup options. If you do not want to compress the backup, select do not compress backup. And use the server default setting. You can take this setting for compression. It chooses the compression settings from the server properties. Let's try to locate where the server settings showing up the backup type, whether it should be compressed or not. Let's see, memory, processors, security, then it's showing connection, then it's showing database settings. So here you will see under this section backup and restore. So by default it's not compressing backup. So if you want to turn on the compress backup settings at the server level, you can check it here. So while taking backup, you can use the server defined settings. So let me go ahead and take you to the backup screen once again, and let's expand this window. So yeah, we were just talking about the backup options. You can set the compression or use the system default setting or server settings. Next section is for encryption. Here you can use various kind of encryption algorithms. But right now you see that this section is grayed out and not highlighted. That's because first you need to create a master key on this server and a server certificate as well before a backup can be encrypted. So I had shown that process in one of my earlier videos. You can subscribe to my channel, and there is a playlist on business continuity with SQL Server. You can check out that playlist. There are various backup videos inside that. So inside one of the videos, you will find that how to take the encrypted backups. So the default type of decryption options available are AES 128, 192, 256, and triple DES encryption options are supported. And let's go to media options. So let's discuss some of the options. So we are first going through the overwrite media section. So the first option selected is backup to an existing media set. And the option selected is append to the existing backup set. So if we take another backup, and if this option is selected, append to existing backup set, it will append that backup to this file. It will be another backup to this file. Another option is to overwrite an existing backup. So for example, right now this file contains a transaction log backup, right? And the backup was taken on 4:41 p.m. on 9:30. All right, and if I chose the append to existing backup, it will create additional transaction log backup. And if we let me show you. So let's set this option and take another backup. So I've taken the backup, so it's appended to the existing backup set. So if I go back again to that backup window, and let me show you the contents, it will this file contains two backups. If I go to contents, you see two Okay, instead of transaction log backup, I have taken the database backup. So let me go ahead and take a transaction log backup. So let's set transaction log, and this time I'm selecting the pen to existing backup set. So it will create another transaction log backup. So there will be 3 backups inside that file. So let me quickly go ahead and take the backup. So I've taken the backup. Now let me show you the content of that file quickly. Go to backup, expand that window and see the contents. You will see 3 backups. So one transaction log backup was taken at 4:41 p.m. Another one is taken at 4:48 p.m. All right, so let me show you. Let's take another transaction log backup. This time I am overwriting all existing backup sets, checking this option. So let's see what happens. And I want to take a transaction log backup. So it will overwrite all existing backup sets. Let's see what happens now. So let's take another transaction log backup. Let's see how many backups are there inside that file now. Backup is open. Let's open the contents. So what it has done, it has removed all the backups that were inside this file. It has completely cleared that file and now it just contain the transaction log backup which we have taken right now. So use this option very carefully because it will remove all the existing backup sets inside that particular file here which you have taken. So we generally append to the existing backup set. Another option is to check media set name and backup set expiration to cause backup operation to verify the date and time at which the media set and backup set expire. So it will check the expiration of the backup set before you take the backup. Now there is another option if you want to backup to a new media set and erase all existing backup set. So earlier the media set name is this. So let's see if this is different from this. This is backup set name here showing media set name. So let me put Northwind backups. I'm taking a new media set name. So let's try to take backup. Here a different name is specified and I'm taking a writing to a new media set. Let's see and let's take a transaction log backup in the same file. So right now contents shows that it has only one transaction log backup inside it. So let's take the backup. Let's see now what's the content of that file. So go back to backup, expand that window and see the contents. So what it has done, it has changed the name, even it does not have changed the name. So it has taken a transaction log backup uh, right now at 4:51. Nothing else. If we check the name of backups, so one more important thing, backup set name is different from the media set name. So this is a media set name, which again is used for any internal auditing purpose. So under this media set, there may be multiple backups. All right, and yeah, we have just seen this option, and we can give the description of this new media set. And there are some reliability options given over here where you can verify backup when it's finished. So it checks the backup whether the file is good or not. And next option is you can perform a checksum before writing the backup to the media to see if it's fine. And third option is to continue an error. So if any errors occurred during the backup process, it will keep on backing up the data. It will not stop. All right, and right under backup options, there are some additional options as well. All right, we have covered reliability, overwrite media, and transaction logs. Let's discuss about transaction log. So there are two options inside it. Truncate the transaction log, which is the default selection. So basically truncating the transaction log removes the existing inactive entries from the transaction log while taking backup. And second option is to back up the tail of the log and leave the database in restoring state. So let's talk about tail log backup. A tail log backup is basically we take tail log backup when a database fails. So after a failure, so whenever a database fails or comes into like restoring mode, or if a database fails, it shows you failing right next to a database. It gives you some keyword. So if a database is failing, at that point we generally take the tail log backup, and basically this is done to prevent the work loss. So we back up the active log, which is a tail log backup, both after the failure. So once the database fails, we take a tail log backup, and before beginning to restore the database, or when failing over to secondary database, we take over the tail log backup. So to summarize, we take tail log backup whenever a database fails, and selecting this is similar to using the no recovery options while using the TSQL syntax to take backup. Uh, so we are fine here. Yes, going with the default option. So right now we have taken like earlier there were two transaction log backups. Now there is one transaction log backup. So we have already shown you how you can take transaction log backups during the using the GUI. Next section is destination. We have just shown you how you can backup to a disk. You can backup to URL as well, which this option allows you to backup to a Azure storage or Azure blob storage containers. So if you want to store to Azure, you can select this option. So far we are not going on with this option. And there is also an option for the tape drive. There's a section for tape drive where the options are dimmed out because tape drive is not installed on this system. So I think we are done with that GUI based backups. Now let's see if how you can take a backup using the TSQL. So in order to do that, you need to open up a new query. So you may write up statements with me if you want to practice. So let's wait for query window to open. Query window is open, so command is backup. And this time we are not using a database option because we want to back up the log file. And then we need to specify the name of the database, which is Northwind. And we need to specify to disk option because we are taking it and the backup to the disk. And we need to specify the complete path of the database file backups. So let me take you there where the database backups are stored. So we have just taken the Northwind backup file, and you need to go to the SQL Server folder inside program files, select your instance, select MS SQL folder, and a backup, you will find the file. So this one is the latest one we have used for practice. So let's select this path, and we need to specify the file name after that. So let me take the file name as well. So this is the file name. Rename it and copy the file name and put that file name here. Alright, so this command is complete now. We can execute. So this will take a log backup. Rest of the option it will take as default. Otherwise you need to specify the option. So ideally by default it appends to an existing backup. So let's execute it and see. So backup is taken. So it must have appended to the file. So if we go to the backup section and select this file and see the content, there are two backups. So the backup set name has not come here because we haven't specified the backup set name option while taking the backup using TSQL. We haven't specified the backup set name. We have the option to specify the backup set name. So you can check out the options for TSQL syntax online on Microsoft documentation, and for now I think we are okay. We have just shown you how you can use TSQL to take backups. Next option is how you can take backups using the PowerShell option. So open up the Windows PowerShell console for that. So run it as administrator. Allow it to open. Click on yes and go to PowerShell window. Now the PowerShell window is loaded. I will show you how you can use the command. So along with me, you can type the command. So backup database is the commandlet. In fact, backup SQL database is the commandlet. So use this commandlet. Then you need to specify the server instance, which should come under double quote. So server instances, you need to specify the name of the server. If you just specify the name of the server, you can take it from properties. So copy the name of the server from here. Go inside PowerShell, paste it, and close the quotes. Right next to server instance, you need to specify the database against which you are working. So database here is Northwind. Alright, so Northwind is specified. What more options you need to specify? Then you need to specify backup action, which type of backup you are taking. We are taking log backup. Another option you need to specify is where are you taking the backup. So I need to check what that option is. So you can check the options available for this particular commandlet. So let me see if I can get that option. I'm checking at my end. Give me a few minutes. So if I take a look at the documentation for this section, so it includes the option path as well as backup action is there, and path is there, but path is not getting used. So let me see which option we can use. So backup file is the option which you need to use if you want to specify the name of the file name, just like we did in the TSQL window. So let me put a quotation marks and double quotation marks. Copy the path from here and take it to. So I've copied the path, close the quotes, and press enter. So let's see how many backups are there. There were 2 backups the last time we checked, right? So if we go inside backup window, check the contents of this file. There are 2 backups. Now we are taking the third one. So let's go ahead and press enter on this. Let's press enter. So now it is taking a backup. So all right. The parameter is not correct. So backup path is the option. Let me recheck again. 1 second. So backup file is the option. We have specified the incorrect keyword. So backup file you need to specify, and then yeah, you can run this command. It will take the backup. So backup is now taken, and let's see inside the backup window how many backups does that file contain. So go to backup and see the content of the Norwood practice back. So we have 3 backups. The one is taken just right now at 5:01 p.m. System time you can check 5:01 p.m. is there. So yeah guys, we are done with the backup video, how you can take transaction log backups using the GUI mode, transact SQL as well as the PowerShell. We have shown you all the 3 ways. So guys, if you really like this video, please hit on the like button and please subscribe to my channel and hit on the bell icon to get all notifications. Also please share this video with your friends so that they can improve their knowledge as well. And I thank you once again for your time to watch this video, and you have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.